Hey bro. Hey. What's going on with Perth property prices?
Well, I mean, in a nutshell, there's too much demand and not enough supply, and that causes prices to go up.
Okay. And what's causing the demand?
On the back end of COVID, there was, I guess, a visibility of Western Australia. So previously, people thought of Perth as, this kind of backwards country town, as a mining town. You don't want to live there unless you're working on the mines. And I guess the fact that we sailed through COVID so well brought us to the attention of the globe, and people can see now that we're not such a backwards country town anymore. We're actually diversified.
How does that increase the demand?
Well, it's a large part of it's migration. So we've opened the borders up essentially for several reasons. One is because we didn't have as many people coming in during the COVID period, but also because we have such a shortage of trades, we need to bring them in. So essentially, we're bringing in people, which is increasing the demand.
Yeah, okay. So how does that then increase the price?
Well, the price gets increased when there's a shortage of supply, and there's also an increase in demand. So the supply shortage lever is also being pulled as well as the demand. So there was a period where we weren't building enough houses or apartments in Western Australia because from the 2014-2015 boom, the 2013-2014 boom, after that things started coming down pretty significantly. So people didn't want to build because essentially it wasn't profitable for developers. So if they're not building, then there's no new supply coming on, which constrains the supply. So there's an increase in demand, people are coming into the state, but there's no new supply, which means that any supply that is there just disappears real quick. And you can see this because our listings have gone down dramatically over the last couple of years to the point where we almost have no listings. The standard listing time for a property is 7 days basically in WA. And if we stopped listing new houses, the current supply will disappear in a couple of weeks. There's just not enough supply.
Yeah, okay. And so why have we increased migration?
Well, the increase in the migration is, like I said, it's two-pronged. One is because people want to come into the state, but the other is we need trades. So skilled migrants are coming into the state, the whole of the nation, but particularly Western Australia, because we need people here who are trades so they can build the houses to get us out of this mess. So essentially, we're going to experience a period of pain where we have people coming into the state. They're going to grow the population, which is going to increase the demand, but the supply hasn't increased yet. The supply hasn't caught up. But we need those trades coming in so they can then build the houses, which is going to increase the supply, and that will then relieve the pressure.
So what you're saying is this is not a quick solution?
No, it's not a quick solution, unfortunately. So yeah, it's going to take some time, a couple of years, 2-3 years at best, maybe longer, because the trades have got to come in here. They've got to find a place to live, which is going to increase the demand. They're going to live here while they're building houses. Building a house is not a quick process in Western Australia. Anywhere from 9 months best case to 24 months, depending on the type of house. I mean, even I know of houses that are still getting built and they were getting built before COVID. So it can take a long time. That's an exceptional circumstance. But the point is, it's not a quick process. There's a lot of red tape. And it's just, it's a very long process in Western Australia.
Should we be letting in migrants then if they're going to increase demand? We don't have housing for them. The increase in demand is going to cause an increase in rental and house prices, and ultimately it's just going to cause more pain.
Yeah, no, we definitely should, because they're the answer to our problem, really. We want migrants. This country is the backbone has been built on migrants, particularly now with regards to trades, manual trades. People just don't want to pick up a hammer in Australia. We have one of the lowest productivity outputs per capita out of the OECD, and it's basically because, well, as a nation, we don't want to be doing the physical labor, me included. I don't want to pick up a hammer and go out in the sun and sweat. So as a consequence, people that do want to do that, they get paid very well, but there's not as many of those people. So in order to reduce the price of the people that are getting paid to do the trades, or even just to keep the price the same, but just to have more of them to finish the work, we need migrants. So we definitely need migrants. So it's really unavoidable. We are going to have pain from the increase in population, but at the same time, it's necessary because that increase in population is then going to increase the supply of housing. So it's really a two-pronged attack. One is bring people in, increase the demand, there's going to be pain, and the second prong is they're going to build the houses, which is going to reduce the pain.
Will this solve the issue?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, I don't know the answer, but one would assume so.
Do you think building houses is the answer?
Yes, I can see that's a loaded question. Yeah, both houses and apartments. I think particularly in Perth, where we're a little bit reluctant to go into the apartment market. You can see that we're starting to trend that way, particularly with the older downsizers. So the older downsizers want to stay in an area, so they're selling their house. They've got a lot of cash, and they're looking for what's low maintenance that is in the area that I can move into, which gives me all the amenity, and so that's apartments. So I think the owner occupiers, the baby boomers are leading the way with regards to the transition to apartments. But it's going to be an evolution, not a revolution. It's very slow, and it's going to get to the point where we can't afford houses, so therefore we have to make the tough choice to move into an apartment. That's really what's going to be. And on the East Coast, it's not even a question. Most people are happy to live in an apartment or a house if they're in the inner city. In WA, we just love having big blocks of land, and we love having a house. So it's just going to be, unfortunately, what it is.
So if we're bringing in trades to build houses and to build apartments, do you think this will solve the issue?
Your guess is as good as mine, hopefully. This is not a sustainable market, both the rental increases and the housing prices. As exciting as the housing price increases are, because we've had such a period of stagnation in WA, the level that they've grown is not sustainable. It's not healthy for anyone involved. Obviously, people own the houses, it's pretty healthy for them, but as a market generally, it can't sustain itself. And what we really want is a sustainable market and a fair market, so that everyone can have a chance at property ownership, but also something that can be sustained. So if there is growth, I hope there's going to be. If there is growth, it's a comfortable, sustainable growth, not these massive periods of growth, which we've seen previously in Perth. But particularly, the Perth has gone through cycles where it's doubled in value over a 2 or 3 year period of time, and we're going through that right now. So this is not anything new, and we've seen this in other states as well. So it's a pretty standard process that the property market grows and then doesn't do too much and then grows. It's just that we had a particularly longer period of time in Perth where nothing happened. So this is a massive catch up rather than just a 2 to 3 year catch up. It's more like a 7 to 10 year catch up.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, cool, man. No, pleasure. Thanks for having me.